The board went dark for 3 years. Now we're back on mission. Elite SDVOB Illinois relaunches, stronger. Here to serve service-disabled veterans ready to dominate in business. During COVID, we were doormat. Now we execute the next phase, with proven leadership. Meet Dr. Jerry Bell Jr., PhD, MBA, our Elite Executive Board President. Decades of experience, advancing veteran-owned businesses. We deliver training, networking, and advocacy to navigate GovCon and grow. Build resilient operations. Veterans earned equal opportunity to compete and win. Need certification, procurement guidance, or scaling help? The mission continues, and we'll win it together. Join us live, Tuesday, December 30th, 2025, on the VetMentors channels.
That will clearly get edited.
I love that video, Yvette. So, all right, awesome. Hey, thank you so much we're doing our second interview. And this week we're going to learn more about one of our new board members, Yvette Swanson, owner of VetMentors. So, Yvette, welcome. And for those meeting you for the first time, who are you and what mission drives your work with VetMentors?
Oh, thanks, Dr. Jerry Bell, for that amazing question and for being on the VetMentors show and for having me here to interview me as the newest board member for the Elite SDVOB Illinois Network. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson, and I am was a former homeless female veteran. And that's what really continues to drive my mission 40 some odd years later, because what happened to me is still happening in our community of homeless veterans. And I've been doing this work as a realtor and now as a consultant, as a government contractor in professional services space professional to educate, our community in what homeless veterans can do with our benefits.
Awesome. Thank you. Yep. So you've spent more than 2 decades focused on homeless veteran housing. Well, what personal or professional experience pulled you into the fight? You kind of touched on this in your intro.
Yeah, that conversation sticks with me probably in every question anybody ever asks, because it's personal to me. It happened to me, and I see it continuing to happen in our community. So my personal experience being discharged from the military at a very young age with no benefits to come home to and no rights as a veteran, even though I was a veteran, I needed some help. And years later, I became a realtor and found this community. And just speaking with homeless veterans nationwide and knowing that they're still there is what continues to pull me in this direction and keep me here for not for my fight anymore, but for theirs.
Yes, ma'am. What I love about what you're saying is also putting veterans in nice homes, right? So that maybe there's a community that they came from or et cetera in Illinois or across the country, and bringing more awareness of how veterans can be positioned for those homes. So from your vantage point, what is the public still misunderstanding about veteran homelessness in America today?
Well, from my vantage point, and there are several misunderstandings and misalignments, miscommunication, is that the word homeless has a negative connotation attached to it. And then when you add that to veteran, and a veteran being homeless, now you have two you have a double negative. Because what happened to you, veteran, who we hold in high such esteem that now you are a homeless veteran? So it must be something that you've done. So now you're walking into our community asking us for help when there's something clearly wrong with you. So just go to the VA. And that short conversation is what goes on in a lot of people's daily understanding of what a homeless veteran is and what a homeless veteran had to have done to become that way. Where in reality, homeless veterans are people just like anybody else. They might have lost their job and couldn't afford the rent, but in our cases, a veteran with benefits, a homeless veteran just has not connected to his or her benefits for housing yet, or the homeless veteran already has benefits in hand and is unable to use those benefits in our communities because our community members are misinformed and misunderstand our homeless veterans.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.
So I'd like to shift over to your Vet Mentor model. So could you explain the Vet Mentors pathway? How do you move a veteran from homelessness to stability and ultimately towards ownership or independence?
Oh, I really, really love this model because this model encompasses all the veteran benefits. We have veteran benefits for a homeless veteran to get housed. It's over $5 billion in those organizations that have been awarded grants. Then we have HUD-VASH. That's another housing award for homeless veterans through HUD and administered through the VA. So that's how you move a homeless veteran into stable housing. Then a veteran can move up in the world using our VA benefits, GI Bills to go back to school, to gain extra experience through VR&E, and then through programs like VetMentors, we have workshops that we bring to the community to help veterans understand their benefits and get their credit straight, and then use another benefit called the VA loan. The VA loan can award a veteran the opportunity to buy a single family house or a multi-unit, becoming an investor. Once you're an investor, we have benefits within our community for veterans to engage in business entrepreneurship. That is through the entrepreneurship and procurement program. So all of these programs we have already in our community will take a veteran up the ladder from being homeless to stable, to rentals, to home ownership, to investor, to business owner, all through our benefits. That's the model. We use what we already have in our community to our advantage. Yeah, it's going to take some work, but those are all of our benefits as veterans.
Outstanding. So you've been very vocal about stop just putting veterans in beds. What does a true long-term housing strategy look like in your view?
Home ownership, investment properties to house more veterans in the same position. So we have people in our community who are saying we want to help house homeless veterans. And that's fine. If a veteran needs that type of housing where they live in your shared model or independent model forever, then that becomes their life. But for a veteran who has the ability and the capability and they want a better life, then just sticking them in a bed isn't helping that veteran, because it just takes a little work to go through appointments and submit claims and applications and to sit down for interviews. But these are, this is information and opportunities for veterans to move out of that bed into something more stable that they have worked for.
Nice. And some of those veterans may have never owned a home before,
Exactly.
even with their growing up. So what a nice opportunity. So who should be leaning in right now to support this work? And are you looking for investors, municipalities, not-for-profits, or other disabled veterans, and why?
Everybody. Who am I looking for to lean in? Everybody, the community, those who are investors. The model that I teach, it is structured for the community to help build the community. You have a homeless veteran, you have a municipality, you have a church, you have investors with properties, and the municipalities could own properties, the religious organization could own properties, and but the programs are what matters. It's I don't want to make it too complicated, because it can be, but it's a process. So you own property and you run a program. The program is within that property. The veterans are your resource, because they have the resources to pay to be in that property. So the program is what gets paid. And everybody who says they want to house veterans can participate in these programs once they learn the model and learn where the money comes from, which is already in our community. I mean, working with the government, you have to know how to jump through some hoops. You have to know where to go to even get involved. So people say it's a lot of red tape, is cumbersome, and it can be without the right pathway. But over 22 years, I just happen to know the right pathway. And for me, it's no brainer. And I love teaching it.
Outstanding. What are the differences between the vet voucher and the regular HUD voucher?
So veterans receive a voucher the same way as anyone else. The voucher is administered through HUD. So they have their voucher. The cherry on top with veterans is that veterans who have that HUD voucher now has a case manager or a social worker at the VA who is their direct support system. So if a veteran needs anything, a veteran needs a bus pass, a veteran needs to be aligned with a VSO or other services that the veteran may need, then that's the social worker there to support that veteran. So that's the difference. You've got the housing and you have the support at the government, at the VA level.
Outstanding. All right. Now that we know a little bit more about you, why you started this, the Vet Mentor model, let's move on to what you see your vision and your call to action. So looking ahead, what is the next major move for Vet Mentors that the community should be watching?
Expansion and capacity. So right now I'm teaching providers in 40 different states. You can probably see that map up there. It started out with homeless veterans, and then it grew to providers in just everyday people. A lot of them are veterans, some are family members of veterans, but they want to learn how to help veterans and not just help themselves. We call, some of the providers money grabbers because they're not trying to help the veterans elevate in a way that they can use their benefits to become homeowners, to become a provider. So I want to, be that resource to help the nation of those who say they want to house homeless veterans, is to understand that we have so much more that we can live for. And, I've taken over, and it wasn't because I wanted to do this as a profession. It just kept calling me over and over and over again. And it came to a point after being at the VA and working directly with social workers, case managers, human care professionals, directors, at the VA level, the vet centers, that we still have more work to do because nobody is fully understanding how to put these programs together, how to align them. And since I've been out there to witness how the programs work, how they run, and work directly with investors and realtors, there is a way that everybody can learn. And that's what I want to be. I want to be that conduit for education, for people to want to get in this space and do it the right way. In simple terms.
So you're basically setting up ambassadors all across the country.
Yes, ambassadors who are housing providers and program administrators.
So what would you say directly to either a veteran who is struggling right now and a decision maker who has the power to change outcomes?
Oh, I've got so many veterans who are struggling right now, and a decision maker who has the power to change outcomes. So for the veteran who's struggling right now, it's going to be a struggle. You cannot stop your fight. You have to keep fighting for your benefits. You have to know who has the benefits, first of all. That's a struggle in itself. But there are ways of finding that out, and I do teach that. And if a veteran is out there who needs those resources, kindly reach out to me. And other, like you call them, ambassadors, but producers in our community. Because, working with the VA, Dr. Jerry Bell, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but it's hard work trying to get our benefits. But you can never stop because you're going to run into somebody who is there willing to help. And then a decision maker who has the power to change the outcomes, do it. Because I'm sure the decision makers are some of the main ones who are telling veterans on Veterans Day or walking around with the veteran hat and jackets on, talking about thank you for your service. But you have the power if you are, I don't know, let's say a managing broker. You can bring in the education to teach realtors how to work effectively in our community. If you are in position in a municipality, you have the power to say, yes, we want these workshops in our community. So it takes everyone, because doors will get blocked. And then they call that what do they call it? Blockers. I forgot the terminology that they use. Do you know gatekeepers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but they have the power to say, oh, yeah, we could do that.
Awesome. And finally, how can people connect with you or support the mission or even learn from VetMentors?
Okay, great question. So I have created a series of educational guidebooks, and the series is called U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Book Series. And it's 10 books in this series right now for those who want to do veteran shared living models, social workers, case managers. Let me just go to Amazon or my website, VetMentorsOnline.com, for the book series. And that's how they can connect with me, is through education. I don't take unsolicited calls, and I don't offer appointments for those without the proper knowledge. Get a book and read a book. And I have a private group of those who want to be effective providers in our community, who I teach directly. And the entry to that is a book, and my master classes are available every week. And follow me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is VetMentors Homeless Veterans USA. Dr. Jerry Bell, thank you for this interview. Sometimes when I talk about this kind of stuff, and it's not really a known solution. You know, people really don't know how to operate in this space. But it's just really emotional, very emotional, because I would think more people would want to know. And when I talk about it, people are like, oh, that's so good. And I wish I knew. So now the opportunity is here for people to learn.
That's amazing.
I hope this helps.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do. And thank you for the opportunity to learn more about VetMentors. And for those watching, another example of a great company that's working with Elite as a member and also a board member. We will host this type of event once a month, and we'll be showcasing other veterans like Yvette and how they're impacting and making things better for not only themselves, but other veterans and non-veterans. All right, Yvette, thank you so much.
Thanks, Dr. Jerry Bell. Have an amazing day.
You too. Thank you.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.